beyond. What a day we've been having, right? I've been learning so much, and kudos to all of these speakers that went before. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, Cara, what do you even have to say to these guys after hearing so much information? But we're just going to spend a little bit of time together on a topic that I think is important as well. We're going to be discussing vision. And as you see, the topic is Beyond Sight, casting a vision that transforms, inspires, and sustains. And this is critical, in my opinion, because, we all need to know where we're going, right? We are in business, let's get real, we're in business to make money. Make sense? We're not in business to hold hands and sing kumbaya, make friends. That's nice. We could do that throughout the day, but we need to achieve results, right? And in order for us to achieve results, we need to cast that vision, okay? So before we jump into the topic per se, I kind of want you to do some self-reflection. You heard Kelly mention I'm a coach as well, so I can't get away from that, right? That will always be my approach. And I want us to practice this self-reflection throughout the presentation. But the first one is, when we think about vision, when you think about your current organizations, can you truthfully answer this question? What is the current vision of your organization? I want you to take 2 minutes, and if you can, perhaps make a note of it in your phone, write it down. But do we really know what's the vision of our organizations? Raise your hand for me if you know the current vision of your organization. No, right? Not, yeah, I know. Whoa. For those who are virtual, you can go ahead and place it in the chat as well. If you know the current vision of your organization, place it in the chat. We'll see it. But you're not in the room, so I want you to know that no hands went up. And I'm sure it may be similar in the chat, right? And get this, y'all hands went up over here? Oh, I missed it. Okay, great. Congrats to my right, your left side of the room, right? That's perfect. And they're all great organizations as well, so I'm very happy y'all are good organizations too. Please don't take it personal. I don't mean to offend anyone. I love all of you. But great organizations as well, so I'm happy to hear that. But imagine, we're leaders in this room. All of us don't know the vision, but we expect our employees to come to work on a daily basis, give 120% to a vision that is written on a plaque on the wall. You understand? And vision is much more than that, right? So if we don't know it, ergo, we can't lead it, right? They don't know it, yeah? So that's really, really important, okay, for us to keep that top of mind. I want to tell you guys about a cow, and Tiffany would have heard this from me before. And no, I'm not crazy. And yes, we're in Barbados, but I'm not wasting your time when I tell you guys about this cow, all right? I read this book a couple years ago called Once Upon a Cow. And there were two gentlemen that were on a hike. And they're going through the hike, they come to a neighborhood, and they wanted to rest. They wanted to sleep overnight. The neighborhood had a lot of good houses and so forth, but no one would let them in. There was this particular house that was like what we would call in the Caribbean a shack house, right? And so this family allowed the two guys to stay with them overnight. Now, as they entered the house, they recognized that the family had this prized possession, this cow in the backyard. They're telling everyone about this cow. And it makes them feel like they matter. It made them feel like they were special, they had something to contribute. Y'all tracking with me yet? Y'all, anyone is seeing where I'm going with this? All right? So let's say that again. It made them feel like they matter. It made them feel like, yes, there's something that I can contribute. And so they held on to this cow. Okay, in the middle of the night, 2 of the guys woke up, killed the cow, and they left. How dare them, right? Killed my prized possession? How dare you change the job that I am accustomed doing for 20 years? That I am capable of doing? How dare you change my job description? How dare you remove the person on my team that I needed to get me to this particular point? Changes that happen, right? Things that we think we need, that we need to hold on to take us to the next level. So this cow is dead. Rest in peace, cow. And they moved on. They were going on a hike again. They circled back to the neighborhood, and they're looking for the house, this shack house. But they can't find the shack house. They go to the same location where the house was, and when they got there, it's a prestige-looking home, you know, Gail? This thing looking like probably 2-story, 3-story, you know, in the heights and terraces, probably. They could not believe it. It was the same family. So the gentleman asked them, what happened? And they said, you know, you did us a huge favor. When you killed the cow, it forced us to get innovative. It forced us to think differently. We were able to start a business selling beef. And let me just confess here, I did not know what meat comes from cow. I asked Julie, when you kill a cow, what meat do you get? And she said, Cara, beef. So I'm just confessing, okay? So the meat that come from the cow, all right? I hope, Julie, I hope you will set me up. I hope it's beef, yeah? So they started a beef business, right? And they were selling the beef, and they were also able to then, you know, rebuild their home and do a lot of great things, yeah? And it got me thinking, in this context, what are some of the cows that we have in our organization? What are some of the old thought processes? What are some of the old processes, to be honest? Because some of us are still quite manual, right? Some of us are trying to innovate our organization, innovate our business on processes or policies that existed 20 and 30 years ago. It's time to change them. Look to the person next to you and say, it's time to change them. Please. Right? Please. Yeah? So, I heard someone, a wise person say before, you don't know what you don't know. And you know, sometimes that is really applicable to vision. That family, they lacked vision. They didn't cast a vision that inspired them to do things differently. They didn't cast a vision to sustain their family. They didn't cast a vision that allowed them to challenge the current reality. Yeah? Vision. When you don't have vision, that's what happens. You stagnate. So they were stagnant for a while until these disruptors, big up Disrupt HR, until these disruptors entered, what do young people say? I'm still quite young. Entered the chat and disrupted their status quo, right? So when we think about vision, yes, of course, it's important. And yes, of course, we often speak about knowing where we're going. But can we look at the reverse of that as well? Do we spend enough time identifying where we are not going? Sometimes we, as leaders, we get so locked into an idea. We believe, you know, and I'm guilty of it as well, so that's why I say we a lot, right? We believe, like, because we have created the idea it's perfect. So this will work, you know? And we don't open the space enough to be challenged by whether it's our peers or even our teams. Yeah? We have to challenge ourselves to think differently. We have to identify where are we not going. That being, identifying what questions have we not asked, what other ideas have we not considered.